The six-man role in the NBA is considered to be one of the most important roles in the team, as these players are those that provides that extra spark when the starters or the team in general are struggling. The sixth man is called the sixth man as they usually start off on the bench, but is the first player to be called off the bench and the player that plays almost the same number of minutes as the starters. They can also be seen as the leaders of the second unit and the players that coaches rely on to lead this unit. Throughout the history of the NBA, there have been many great six men who had huge impacts on their team, and some even being so great that they helped their team to a championship. Now, in this current season, the contenders for the sixth man of the year have been interesting and enjoying to watch, as it might be a close match between them. And no, for this video I'm not talking about Tyler Herro, as I'll be talking about the other strong potential contender for the award, which is Kelly Oubre Jr. Alright, before I start diving deep in this video, yes, right now Tyler is favored to win this award, but this video is not to discredit what Tyler Herro has done for the Miami Heat and the success that really puts him as a top pick for most, if not all, NBA fans. Because actually I'm currently planning to make a future video on Tyler Herro's performance this year and why he's really playing well this season. For this video I'll just be covering why Kelly Oubre is making a strong case for the award too, and the real reason why he's been flourishing. Kelly Oubre Jr. has been a bucket for the Hornets during this current season. We're almost at the halfway point of the season, and this man, so far, has been putting up numbers that could help him make a strong case for the award. Hey everyone, it's Hooper's Corner, and today I'll be covering Tsunami Papi's.
What?
Yes, I said it, and y'all know he's probably your girlfriend's man crush Monday. Kelly Oubre's success story, putting up 6th man of the year type of performance, so let's get right into it. Kelly Oubre is a 7-year small forward veteran who's been on 4 different NBA teams, starting off with his first 4 seasons with the Wizards, and then the next 2 in Phoenix, and then a short season with the Warriors, and then now with the Hornets. Right now with the Hornets, he's averaging just around 17 points per game while shooting at a career high in threes, sitting on 37% off the bench. Coming off a franchise record night for the Hornets as well, he scored 39 points where he hit 10 3-pointers with that. And he's been the best pickup for the Hornets from the free agency in my opinion, and this pickup really eased my mind about the Hornets, and here's why. Hornets last year had a not great but an okay first season with LaMelo, where they would just miss out on the playoffs due to elimination in the play-in game against the Pacers, but some would say that it's due to LaMelo being injured for a while because of his wrist, but still, the team finished below 500. That team, however, though, was pretty solid if you look at the players they had. Let me just name those that would be relevant to this story. First, there's Miles Bridges, who during the last half of the regular season started turning it up, which then followed through into the current season that he's now having an MIP type of performance. Second, there was Devontae Graham, who was actually one of my favorite players in the Hornets before LaMelo came in, because he was pretty exciting to watch in a way, as I always thought that his jump shots would go in just because how smooth it looks, but other than that, he also provided a few sparks for the Hornets, either he's starting lineup or he's coming off the bench. And then there's Malik Monk off the bench, who was, I gotta admit, pretty inconsistent, but he was a streaky shooter that could heat up at any time that provided Hornets a scoring option off the bench. During the offseason though, Malik decided to sign with the Lakers, Devontae went to New Orleans, and Miles put up a good enough performance to be promoted into the starting lineup heading into the new season, which then demotes PJ Washington to bench. Now, before the Hornets picked up Kelly Oubre, I was curious on who would be the scoring option off the bench for the Hornets. If you look at the starting lineup, they're all great scorers, as it includes LaMelo, Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, and Miles Bridges, so that's why I was wondering who would be the scorer off the bench. So when they picked up Kelly Oubre in the offseason, at first I didn't think he would be the one to be that option, because I thought it would be PJ Washington, because Hornets seems to be developing him, which makes sense because he's a young player with potential. But man, Oubre really exceeded my expectations, because I didn't expect him to play like how he is playing right now. I thought that his best years were still the seasons he had with the Suns, but man, I was wrong. He's really become an offensive arsenal for the Hornets off the bench and has been an important part of the team's success, as they are currently above 500, closing to the halfway point of the season, and it's also their best franchise record start ever since 1999. I feel like for the Hornets, a scorer off the bench have been a necessity for a long time. The last good bench scorer for the Hornets I could name confidently is Del Curry. Looking back at Oubre's time with the Warriors, I think he struggled with the pressure of being Clay's replacement, kind of, which he didn't meet, and then he struggled more with the transition into being more of a role player off the bench. And on top of that, he suffered through an injury. I don't know. Watching him that season with the Dubs, I always thought that he didn't quite fit in with the team, especially when he started the season missing his first 17 3-pointers. And some people would say that the time Kelly decided he wanted to leave the Warriors was when Steve Kerr said that he would be coming off the bench when Klay comes back, which I guess, in my opinion, totally makes sense. Some people would say this made Oubre frustrated, but that's a story for another time. Looking back at that Warriors team as well, I think I need to add the fact that the Warriors team that season kinda had a little depth in that bench, as from the top of my head, alright, I believe they have players like Jordan Poole, Damian Lee, Toscana Anderson, Gary Payton, and Eric Paschall. I mentioned this because this shows that Kelly wasn't really the main option whether he's playing with the starting lineup or the bench lineup. I feel like a big part of why Oubre has been playing great this season for the Hornets is the role that he's been given from the trust he's gotten from the coaching. As James Borrega said in an interview, I hope he feels at home here. I hope he feels that we trust and believe in him. Do I believe he's in that 6-man category? Yeah, I do. I feel like when a coach gives this type of trust into a player, it really gives the player the confidence that improves their performance, and you can see it in Oubre's game. If you look at these clips, you can see that he's confident when shooting the shots, and his shot seems to remain unfazed even in front of defenders. Oubre has also brought that swagger and charisma for the Hornets in order to keep the team's and the crowd's energy up, which is a huge boost to get the team going. And I feel like this kind of personality is a good fit for this team, as he also got players like LaMelo and Miles, who seems to be pulling off highlight reels every game that gets the crowd and the team going. I know you guys are probably tired of seeing either of those dudes get posted by House of Highlights at least 3 to 4 times a week, right? I feel like this role that Oubre has with the Hornets is really suited for the type of player he is, and I feel like players like Oubre needs to have that type of trust, in other words, the green light from the coaches in order to be confident and to perform well. This green light translated into his advanced stats, as his 3-point attempts per game have increased from his average 5 3-point attempts to almost 8 3-point attempts per game. Lastly, I really feel like playing in a team like the Hornets where you have a playmaker like LaMelo is one of the reasons Oubre has been playing well. As we all know, LaMelo is the type of player who likes to get his team going, as he's always trying to find the open man on the drive and kick situations, so for sure, Kelly would be getting his touches from these situations. This can be seen through the advanced strikes for Kelly Oubre in a catch and shoot situation. In a catch and shoot, Oubre is the team scoring leader in the situation and also the player that attempts the most 3-pointers in a catch and shoot, as he averages almost 6 3-pointers per game. He would knock down around 2 of these types of 3-pointers per game, so looking at these stats, you can definitely see that Oubre has definitely been that option for this team and they trust and rely on him. Look, I don't know how long Kelly Oubre can keep this performance up. I don't know if it's just a long hot streak, but if he manages to keep this up even after the All-Star break, I think it's safe to say that he is a strong contender alongside Tyler Herro for that 6th Man of the Year award. It's been a long time since the Hornets have got an offensive threat off the bench, and Kelly Oubre could be a big part of the Hornets when trying to make a playoff push. It's hard to say how he would perform in a playoff situation with his team, but I guess we'll see. That's it for me today. I hope you guys liked this video, and make sure to hit that thumbs up icon and subscribe if you like this video. And again, feel free to comment down as well which other players we should cover that's currently being somewhat underappreciated due to being in either low market or low performing teams that you believe could be a star. Thank you guys, and hope to see you guys again. Peace.